This is your moment. Now test drive the all-new 31 MPG RAV4. Toyota. Let's go places.
Nighttime by San Francisco Bay, the city of San Francisco, sparkling the Bay Bridge. We're a little bit south of the city here at Stanford. 32-31, the halftime score. Stephen F. Austin with the lead over Stanford. Dave Fleming, Bill Walton, and Bill, you got a buddy behind you too. A fan club here in Palo Alto. We saw a pretty entertaining first half, didn't we? Stephen F. Austin came in with a good reputation for the Southland. We saw a lot of the things that make them a quality team.
It was absolutely fantastic. The discipline, the organization, the cohesiveness, the vision, the plan, all on perfect display. And they've got a one-point lead all the way from Texas. They have come here to take down the California trees, and it has worked magnificently. Taylor Smith, all of his 12 points in the first 10.5 minutes. He started the game 4 for 4, finished just 1 for 3 in the last 9 minutes of the first half. Stanford made some nice adjustments defensively. Three-point shooting for the Cardinals. What's the key for getting them going? When they had their one run, it was all about penetration and dish. It was about threes in transition. And even though Stanford has a height, a strength, and athleticism advantage here in the interior between Powell and Eustis, they have not been able to capitalize. The first half stats, our man Dave with all the information.
The turnovers stand out. Stanford a few too many turnovers. The bench helped the Cardinal. Both teams shooting about even. The three-point shooting for Stanford was an edge for the Pac-12 school, but it's the Lumberjacks who have the ball first here in the second half.
The footwork every single time. Nobody just dribbling it.
Bostic missed the three. There's Eustis' defensive board.
Tremendous rebound that time by Josh Eustis. Rebound battle. Stanford +2 here. Not a lot of rebounds. Just both teams shooting decently. 48 SFA, 45 Stanford.
That slower tempo kind of game, low possession game. Andy Brown off the glass.
The Cardinal loyalists can only hope that they'll come back to that play.
And that was a good matchup for Stanford. That's Brown's first basket of the game. Bostic over the outreached arm of Dwight Powell.
Antonio Bostic, very interesting player. His ability to slash, to dice. The best perimeter defender on this team, a senior. He's in a hot shooting streak right now, and that layup indicative of what we're going to see here the rest of the way.
He's one of those guys, Bill, you talked about it in the first half. He never comes out of the game. He will play all 40 minutes. Dwight Powell, tough move.
I love guys that play the whole game.
Yeah.
You can't do it in the NBA. There's just too much. Beautiful post-entry pass.
Smith is not going to miss that one.
Smith has been hugely impressive today. His hands, his footwork, his balance, his physical fitness.
I like a kid who knows what his strength is, and that's what he does. He sticks to what he does well. And that's what this player does.
That's what the game of basketball is all about. That's what good teams do.
Powell trying to make a move against Smith, sort of stepped through the defense, gets his own miss, and couldn't stick it back in.
I like SFA because they don't make stupid mistakes. They don't foul, they don't grab, they don't hack. They play basketball. And they don't over-dribble. Terrible call. That's a terrible call. That ball was off Stanford.
Yeah, it sure looked like he got tipped. Not much of an argument from Bostic.
One thing about it, the Lumberjacks, they're not here whining and complaining. I mean, I was staggered with UCLA with the comments of where they got seated. I mean, this nothing but whining and complaining. You got a chance. You got a chance to go play.
And we watched the replay. I don't think Stanford did touch the ball. I think it was out of bounds. There's Brown wide open.
Aaron Bright, penetration and dish. I'm sitting right here. That ball came right to me. That ball was off Stanford.
Well, I thought you were right. Then we watched the replay. I don't know.
Photoshop.
We edited it in the meantime.
We got a great crew.
And Evan and Jerry and company back in the truck. Here's a foul on Eustis, Desmond Heyman. Aaron Bright, again, Bill's been talking about throughout our broadcast, playing well for Stanford.
One of the rare times you'll see an SFA team, a Danny Casper team, give up guard penetration. But with the quickness, the explosiveness, the imagination and creativity of Aaron Bright, plus the fact that he's stroking those threes, and he got the ball on the run. But with the free throws here, SFA, there are 21 Division I schools in the state of Texas. Over the last 13 years, SFA has been the second best team of all of those schools. University of Texas, the only team with a better record in 13 years. But over the last 6 years, SFA with Danny Casper, they have been the #1 winningest school in the entire state of Texas.
Their one weakness as a team this year at the free throw line. They're just not a good free throw shooting team. And we saw 2 misses there.
Great defense.
Randall harassed. Brown avoided the turnover to get it to John Gage, who airballed it. That's a foul, though, against the Lumberjacks down low.
Stanford is taller. They're longer. They're bigger. They're Stanford University. They have a $17 billion endowment here. You know what the endowment is at SFA?
I don't.
$18 million.
A little difference in terms of the resources available. Aaron Bright, who just loves playing in the postseason. He was the most outstanding player in the NIT last year at a huge tournament.
But the great thing about basketball is that the underdog can win. And these Lumberjacks, they're right there. That's the story of the night. Beautiful pass.
Gage is going to make Taylor Smith earn it at the free throw line. On the other end of the floor, Aaron Bright continues to get it done.
The little drummer boy. I love this little play here. Just hands to the guy, going to run around behind him, and he lays it off and just let it fly from 3.
Simple basketball, but it works. Not a bad foul by Stanford to make Smith shoot the free throws. That's a 3rd on Gage.
Your comment about when it works. You have to make it work. And that's what's impressive about SFA. But they don't come in here with all the advantages that these guys from Stanford have or these guys in the Pac-12 have. Yet, they listen to their coach. They believe. They come and they put the work in. And now they've got a perfect chance. They're down 2 points with 16-20 to go. They win this game. They're going to talk about this game the rest of their lives.
Smith making his free throws. He's got 16. And he's also playing good defense against Dwight Powell. A lot of contact there. No whistle. Rebound. Lumberjacks.
Tremendous defensive position by the Lumberjacks.
Powell's just 1 for 6 shooting here tonight.
Nobody forces anything. I love the weave over the top.
Bostic got it back, and that is a blocking foul. They called Bright for the foul. So that sends us to a timeout.
University Avenue here in Palo Alto. What more could you ask for? The new Apple store, have you seen it?
It's pretty slick.
All glass. Palo Alto Cycles just up the road as well.
Nexium, the purple pill, helps provide many with day and night relief of heartburn symptoms caused by acid reflux disease. There is risk of bone fracture and low magnesium levels. Side effects may include headache, abdominal pain, and diarrhea. Call your doctor right away if you have persistent diarrhea. Other serious stomach conditions may exist. Don't take Nexium if you take clopidogrel. Ask your doctor if Nexium is right for you. Find out how you may be able to get Nexium for just $18 a month at purplepill.com.
To win the Sport Clips $10,000 MVP Moment Maker, a guy's just gotta do what comes naturally. Visit your Sport Clips to get a scratch and win ticket that could win you 10 grand to make your MVP moment. Or a bunch of instant win prizes that are cool too. Sport Clips. It's good to be a guy.
Jackie Robinson.
Oh man, I'm Jackie Robinson. Except when I run base, I dodge the pen.
I'm just a ball player.
You a hero.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm right here. I'm a Brooklyn boy. I may take some getting used to.
42, the true story of an American legend. Rated PG-13. In theaters April 12th.
Back here in Palo Alto, first round action of the NIT 4 and 5 seeds. Stanford with the 2-point lead at home against the father of Texas in his school, Stephen F. Austin.
We've got a thriller here. First round action, Alabama has already moved on here. The winner of this game goes to Alabama. They're anticipating Thursday. It has not been announced yet. Denver routs Ohio. Maryland easily over Niagara. And as we move around this great country of ours, Virginia has already moved on against St. John's the next round. St. John's one of 2 schools to ever win consecutive NIT tournaments. Iowa and Indiana State, they'll be going at it. Massachusetts and Stony Brook. And then Robert Morris, standing tall, walking like a giant, signing the Declaration of Independence, taking down the Kentucky Wildcats. Incredible. Louisiana Tech, Karl Malone, proud as can be there.
Well, there have been a lot of good basketball tonight in the NIT. The headliner has to be the Patriot, Robert Morris, and his school taking down Kentucky. They stormed the court after that one.
That's also should be outlawed in college basketball. That is so dangerous. Please, for those of you who are at home, do not storm the court. A big mistake.
Well, they did it tonight in the hometown of John Calipari. Came back home, and I don't think he enjoyed it too much. Good defense by Stanford there.
We love the victory by Robert Morris, but
yeah,
it's just too dangerous.
Yeah.
And somebody's going to get hurt, and then everybody's going to get all mad. And they're going to say, what were we thinking? Think beforehand. Like this guy who just turned that ball over. Don't jump in the lane and get in the air and then try to throw a pass to somebody who's already cut and left his spot.
Now Aaron Bright and Stanford on offense. 15 minutes to play. Dwight Powell using a dribble. Some help defense forced to miss.
Taylor Smith is a superb basketball player in every aspect. So fundamentally sound. So disciplined. What a mind. Love players that think.
Yeah,
Didn't go for one of those fakes. You got to make your opponent shoot that ball from the perimeter.
Number 32 in purple for SFA. He's playing well on offense. He's playing very well on defense.
He's the defensive player of the year.
Right, that little opening, but he missed the 3, and there's Smith with the rebound.
Danny Casper has had all the MVPs. 3 of the last 6 years in the Southland Conference have been a lumberjack for Danny Casper, now in his 13th year in Nacogdoches.
Here's a 3 from Pinckney. Brown with the rebound. Stanford wants to get up and down, wants to play with a quicker tempo.
But the discipline offensively for the Lumberjacks prevents it. That's an offensive foul.
Randall got away with a push-off there. Jason Randall, he's got 6. Now Randall's matched up defensively with Antonio Bostic. Clock starting to wind down. It's under 10.
But they don't panic. Beautiful back cut. Throw it down, big man. One time. Chop him down.
No panic whatsoever. Taylor Smith, man, he can finish around the rim. the leading field goal shooter in college basketball.
He doesn't give ground in any aspect of the game.
Eustace, who's had a very quiet game, missed the three. Powell way up high for the rebound. Dwight Powell missed the shot. Rebound Lumberjacks.
Fierce competition end to end here.
And a two-point game that feels like it's coming down to the final minutes.
SFA is better in close games. Stanford, they lose a ton of close games.
Yeah, that's been a theme.
Shot, a rare wild shot there.
But saved in bounds to Bostic, who was rejected by Eustace. So the Lumberjacks do keep the possession. We were talking about Taylor Smith all night, a powerful player around the rim.
Take a listen. You could hear the explosion of the rim. The laws of physics, which were developed right here at Stanford.
Well, maybe not the laws of physics, but
Polished.
Polished, that's a good way to put it. The linear accelerator, just a couple miles from where we sit.
My favorite place. I love the speed game. Turn it up. Give me the flesh-eating low end. Beautiful play. Josh Eustace, play of the night down there. When Stanford has had something work effectively, you know, like Andy Brown's flash, this play right here, the exquisite execution, they never come back to it. Very puzzling.
Well, they would like to get Eustace going. He has been a big part of this team. He does have 7 points now with that basket. He still just has the one rebound. Now they've credited him with a second rebound, but it's been an overall quiet game for him. Kid from Montana, and he misses the free throw.
But when you're playing in this type of game, you can't get sucked in to what they're doing. Great leaders, great players, they define the terms of the conflict. Make them play your game. And that battle for supremacy as to which style, which culture is going to survive.
That's kind of a wild shot by Heyman. Now Stanford gets a chance to get out of the open court.
Heyman, the only left-hander on this Lumberjack team. Beautiful defense.
Stripped away, stolen by Hal Bateman. Tried to get it to Smith down low. Taylor Smith is working hard. He ran the floor very quickly, but that's a sloppy pass and a turnover. We've been talking about him all game long. Danny Casper, the coach of SFA, has a star. The 6'6" senior, Taylor Smith, powerful finisher around the rim. And he and the Lumberjacks of Stephen F. Austin hanging around with the Stanford Cardinal. 44-40, the Cardinal lead.
Thank you, Orville and Wilbur, Amelia, Neil, and Buzz, for teaching us that you can't create the future by clinging to the past. And with that, your history. Instead of looking behind, Delta is looking beyond. 80,000 of us investing billions in everything from the best experiences below to the finest comforts above. We're not simply saluting history. We're making it.
At Scottrade, our clients trade and invest exactly how they want.
With Scottrade's online banking, I get one view of my bank and brokerage accounts with one login to easily move my money when I need to. Plus, when I call my local Scottrade office, I can talk to someone who knows how I trade. Because I don't trade like everybody. I trade like me. I'm with Scottrade.
Scottrade, awarded 5 stars from Smart Money Magazine.
Humans. Some of us are great athletes. Others, not so much. Which is why at Liberty Mutual Insurance, auto policies come with features like new car replacement and guaranteed repairs. See what else comes standard at libertymutual.com. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Responsibility. What's your policy?
What's the attraction at Tilted Kilt Pub and Eatery? It's more than our 30 draft and bottled beers, or our mouth-watering menu. It's the best-looking sports pants you've ever seen. Tilted Kilt of an eatery. A cold beer never looks so good.
In the NIT, Stanford with a 4-point lead over Stephen F. Austin here in the second half. The NBA on ESPN on Wednesday. Nets and a Texas native, Darren Williams, going to Dallas to take on the Mavericks. 8 Eastern on ESPN. Key NBA countdown at 7:30 Eastern.
A regular here at Maples, always the Morgan family. Joe Morgan, the Hall of Famer. Teresa, his wife, in the middle, and their angelic daughter, Ashley, on the left. Joe just flew in from this game tonight. For this game tonight from Arizona, where he's with the Reds. Now, his daughter Ashley, though, who's a senior here, this Saturday up at Oregon State. We just opened this camera up a little bit, flash over to Ashley, but Ashley is a, I thought it was like my iPad there. Ashley, who's a senior here at Stanford, there she is. She's great friends with Dwight Powell, but she is a gymnast here, and she's competing at the Pac-12 Conference Championships for the final time this Saturday on the uneven bars, the vault, the beam, and the floor exercises, where she is a two-time defending conference championship winner. So congratulations, Ashley. Go for it all.
Part of that Stanford athletic program you were talking about. She is a great athlete on campus. And, of course, her dad, I'm sitting here next to a Hall of Famer, Bill Walner. Joe Morgan is one of the all-time greats.
Unbelievable. I grew up watching Joe Morgan, the Big Red Machine. I also got to see Chiney here tonight, the great women's basketball player. They're seeded #1. They've got to win 6 games to win the title. She told me they got a great chance. They're ready to go. They've got no excuses.
Stanford women, one of the best teams in the country. There's a foul on Harris. And there's Janae Ogwumike and some of her teammates catching some basketball. Pac-12 Player of the Year, she's one of the greats. The
school spirit. There's 3 schools in NCAA basketball that have over 100 NCAA titles. UCLA at the top. Stanford and USC are close behind. Everybody else in the whole country and the whole world is so far behind that they don't even matter. The Pac-12, the world's greatest conference.
Track and field, tennis, swimming.
Swimming, golf. The number of Hall of Fame athletes, the number of Hall of Fame cities here. Beautiful execution. That is perfect basketball. Curl one guy through, suck the defense, fill a guy right back in. Danny Casper basketball.
Now, they've been good, the Lumberjacks, on those inbound plays. They've gotten a couple baskets off those in this game. 2-point game. Harris maybe got away himself with a push, and Smith, they're going to call a goaltending. He went way up high to block that shot.
That's
they're going to count the basket.
That's a good block.
You were talking about the inbound execution for the Lumberjacks.
Little pump fake on the curl. That guy's a little bit open. Everybody else, the double stream there, they're realizing that we're in big trouble. That's a good block.
Yeah, I think you're right.
For once.
He got that still on the way up. Now, you've been right at least 2 or 3 times tonight.
This lifetime.
Out of bounds. It'll stay with SFA, the 5 seed against the 4 seed from the Power Conference. It's not a big crowd, but they're spirited here tonight. Bostic gets his own miss and tried to thread the needle to Smith. That goes out of bounds.
Tough pass because of the long arms of Stanford. On that, pass it up to the high post and let somebody else make an easier, shorter post entry pass to Paul Bunyan out there. Taylor Smith all the way out here from Nacogdoches to cut down the trees. You been to Nacogdoches?
I have never been there.
I have not either.
In the piney woods of East Texas. I've been in the neighborhood, just never stopped in town.
When the wind blows through the piney woods. But one of the great things about this Southland Conference is the tradition and is the history. Louisiana Monroe, Lamar, but Monroe, Louisiana, where Bill Russell was born.
And Nacogdoches is not far from Shreveport, Louisiana. You're right.
Where Robert Parrish was born,
yeah.
Terry Bradshaw was born. Carl Malone lives there today.
So you got a lot of history.
Well, it's beautiful there. The Piney Woods. SFA, the #1 forestry school. Beautiful blocks. Speaking of Bill Russell, Robert Parrish, Karl Malone.
Block the shot and keep the ball. Here's Powell. Layup good. And Bill Russell would do that. Block it at one end, run the floor, get the basket at the other end.
Have you seen the recent YouTube clip that they just discovered? It's unbelievable. He blocks the ball, grabs it, dribbles the length of the court, and jumps over somebody and lays it in. Ask yourself, who in today's game as a center would be able to do that?
I don't believe there's anybody quite like that. Nostich off the bench, grabbed a rebound. So Stanford's got the 6-point lead here and trying to add to it. Powell starting to play with some urgency here. In traffic, draws a foul.
SFA is starting to make some defensive mistakes. You can't let Powell drive right. The beautiful quick release there, but Powell just too long, and finally a block that they keep in play. Just wait. He's so gifted, so long, so talented. Then he runs the floor and just glides right by everything, soaring like the eagle here, or maybe the owl in the night air in Palo Alto through the raindrops.
I was trying to think of a Canadian reference. Powell now misses the first of two. Ordinarily a very good free throw shooter.
Born in Ontario.
Yep.
Off Neil Young's new release, Psychedelic Tale, of which I urge a daily consumption of the music.
Maybe born under the harvest moon.
May the four winds blow you safely home.
One more for Dwight Powell. He just announced he's coming back for his senior year. There's a lot of talk that he could be a first-round draft pick in the NBA, but he wants his degree. And so he's coming back to play for Johnny Dawkins next year.
Who would ever want to leave Stanford?
Not Dwight Powell, that's for sure. He and the Cardinal lead by 7.
I hate that I can't record and watch my shows in here.
Yeah, it's more annoying than...
We shouldn't have to get a DVR for every TV. Cable's more infuriating than...
We should upgrade to DirecTV and get the new Genie. She lets you record and watch from any TV with just one DVR.
Wow.
DirecTV is more unbelievable than...
Now you only need one DVR for your whole home. Call 1-800-DIRECTV.
Every year, we know there will be glory.
Perfection, 78-0.
And heartbreak.
And another #1 is about to bow out.
We know there will be buzzer beaters.
He hit a three-point basket.
Upsets.
It's over.
And games that take our breath away.
The Lady Bears are the national champs in 2012.
The one thing we don't know is what will happen this year. The Women's Basketball Championship, beginning Saturday, exclusively on the networks of ESPN.
Show it off, America. Show off that belt you replaced. Show off the fuel pump, the oil change, the upgrade. You did it. There are a lot of places you can go to do it yourself, but there's only one place that can help you do it right. AutoZone. Because even the pros know parts are just part of what we do. We have the advice, the instructions, we even loan tools. So show it off, America. You did it right. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
If you got cut rate insurance, it might not pay for all this. So get Allstate. SHORS. Hey, hey.
Protect your home with an Allstate agent. Are you in good hands?
Sensitive scalp meets Selsun Science. Ah, that's better. New Selsun Blue Sensitive Scalp gets to the root of dandruff and soothes irritated scalp with vitamins and essential oils.
Feels nice.
New Selsun Blue Sensitive Scalp. Science for your scalp.
Biggest lead of the night for Stanford playing at home, 49-42. The big guys, Bill Walton, in this game, Smith and Powell, have come up big.
One-on-one inside the game, the essence of it. Who's going to walk like a giant? Who's going to float like a leaf in the stream? Early on, Taylor Smith, dominant. But now, it's been Dwight Powell, who's been making the plays that have caused this separation. The Billy the Hill McGill jump hook shot, the block shot, Bill Russell, all these Pac-12 legends from years gone by, a statistical analysis would be a wash. But a 7-point lead for Stanford. The Lumberjacks got to get going here. Dwight Powell come alive late, Taylor Smith early on. Consistency, the ability to make the big plays. advantage at this point, Dwight Powell.
And I would think you'd say both guys have walked like a giant tonight.
I have been hugely impressed and been made very proud of the game of basketball by what SFA has done here tonight.
And Stanford's made some nice adjustments in this game. They were early on looking like they were in for a real tough one.
And I want Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless to give Danny Casper some love tomorrow. Because this guy deserves it, what he's been able to build down there in this little tiny town of less than 30,000 people. 5-second violation.
Yeah.
No, bleeding.
Yeah, they have to stop play. Robbie Lemons has got blood pouring down the side of his forehead, around his temple, on the left side of his face. So he's going to have to come out of this game.
He's played well. Ran the floor, spaced the floor nicely. He'll go right to the locker room, and they'll fix him up. Andy Brown right back into the action.
The sharp edge of the axe nicked up Robbie Lemons. Well, the walk-on, he was big in the first half. That doesn't look pretty, does it?
That's going to be tough for him to come back with just under 9 to go.
Yeah, because you got to, by rule, you have to get the blood stopped before he can come back in the game, let alone get it all cleaned up. And now they got to get the floor wiped up, too.
Stanford already playing shorthanded. Grant Verhoeven unable to play tonight. His parents are here tonight. Peter, the ex-NBA star, and then his wife, Lugene. Lugene, a third-grade teacher in Hanford.
Yeah, down in the Central Valley. Lemons is going to go back to the locker room. We got a quick moment. We want to remind you, first round of the NCAA Division I Men's Basketball Championship continues tomorrow. You can find it on True TV beginning at 6:30 Eastern. For more info on tournament game times, listings, go to ncaa.com. Seven-point lead for Stanford. SFA with the ball. There's a whistle on a foul. They're going to call Andy Brown playing defense on the inbound.
The ball's not even inbound, so free throws.
Well, no bonus yet. One more before 17 fouls.
But if you foul a guy when the ball's out of bounds.
There's a much-needed basket for the Lumberjacks. And Bostic, he's had a lot of big shots. 15 points for him. Stanford ball, leading by 5. It's Harris who came in for Lemons. A lob play. Wow! What a finish by Dwight Powell.
Absolutely spectacular. The crowd erupts, surging as one toward the court here. But that's why you can't give up guard penetration. Everybody else has to rotate. Nice job defensively, Andy Brown.
Brown contested that shot, but Bateman hit it anyway. So the Lumberjacks are not going away.
They play with tremendous pride and poise and toughness. They are not afraid to mix it up physically. But when you give up guard penetration, you're going to hear the emphatic throwdown. Oh, my gosh. On that ball fake by Gabriel Harris, the defender just jumped in the air. Keep your arms at the same level as the ball is, and then you won't be posterized.
Highlight play for Dwight Powell. Aaron Bright. Dangerous pass, and Powell prevented the turnover. He just came in and grabbed the ball. Powell fouled from behind by Thomas Walkup. Dwight Powell, he's playing well here in the second half.
Most improved player in the Pac-12 Conference, moving without the ball beautifully, in sync, and throwing it down.
Car looks good. What are you asking?
It's $9,000 firm.
Really? Show me the Carfax.
Looks like it's had an accident.
All right, $500 off. Final offer.
Says here the car was totaled.
$1,000 off. What do you guys got? Some kind of crystal ball?
Nope, she's got a Carfax. Before you buy a used car, just say, show me the Carfax. Get yours now at Carfax.com.
I want a weed-free season. That's how I roll. So I reach for Roundup Extended Control. With the all-new no-pump one-touch wand, it kills weeds dead and keeps weeds gone.
Roundup Extended Control.
I just spray them weeds, then spray them cracks. The weeds are gone and they won't be back. Driveway, patio, I just spray once and it's adios weeds for up to 4 sweet months.
Roundup Extended Control.
Roundup Extended Control with the new one-touch wand.
You got one. Back. Come on out. Nothing over our head, baby. Nothing over our head. Come back to menu. No doubles, no doubles. Hey, you got one, Wow. Me and you right here, let's go. Let's Wester right now, let's roll it. Yeah, we're rolling stuff here. Let's get him. Let's get him right now, come on. Let's go. I'll pitch away. Hey, best pitch. Looking down, kid, looking down. Come on, now, here we go, babe. Let's go. Pitch away, here we go.
Well, the big city, San Francisco, nighttime in the Bay Area. The big conference schools, Stanford playing at home here in the NIT first round, 51-46. They lead Stephen F. Austin out of Nacogdoches, Texas. And we've been talking a little bit about the school, about the town, trying to get you up to speed. Not just a history of athletes, though, for SFA.
So much going on there in Nacogdoches. Oh, my gosh. Don Henley started his dream right there so many years ago. Don Henley, one of the most brilliant songwriters, musicians, performers ever. Now with the Eagles, along with Joe Walsh, Glenn Fry, Timothy Schmidt. They got the fabulous documentary out there right now, The History of the Eagles. The Eagles are playing this Saturday night, the 23rd, at the MGM Grand, where we just were for the Pac-12 Conference. The age of innocence is over. Oh, my gosh. Hotel California. Thank you, Don Henley. Thank you, Glenn, Joe, Timothy. Incredible contribution here.
The long road for Don Henley.
Started in Nacogdoches. Then he went to North Texas State after that.
Now had it stripped away. Well, the Lumberjacks are not going away here tonight. Hanging tough with the Cardinal. Shooting numbers pretty even in this one.
But at this point, the Sierra Club has to be breathing a little easier. Worried about the trees just being cut down here in California.
So far, they're standing tall.
So far. The Stanford post players have used their elbows and shoulders beautifully to establish that post position.
I think Stanford would like to see Josh Eustace play a little closer to the basket at times. He loves those jump shots.
Oh.
And they call a foul. Bateman hits the deck.
So close. The beautiful back cut here along that baseline. And then with the defense just coming in, those layups, the margin for error for SFA so tiny.
And not a lot of contact on that play.
Well, we're at the free throw line here. Some love for the Southland Conference. I mean, schools like Northwestern State, Lamar, where Billy Tubbs cut his teeth, Oral Roberts, and they rescued Paul Pierce that day back in Boston, Sam Houston State, McNeese State that gave us Joe Dumars, and then Central Arkansas, Scottie Pippen. Who's coaching at Central Arkansas right now? Corliss Williamson, Final Four MVP back in '94 in Charlotte. What a great conference. And this team, SFA, number one in that conference because of one Danny Casper.
But their rivals, Northwestern State, and that is a big rivalry in that league. 2-point win in the conference championship game that knocked SFA out of the NCAA tournament. Sent them here to Palo Alto, where they're facing Aaron Bright and the Cardinal.
But what Stanford is doing, they're taking Taylor Smith away from the basket because he has to play with Powell, and Powell playing so well to knock down that jumper. And then little Aaron Bright just able to find the rhythm and pace and beat. And here he comes again.
Yeah, and Andy Brown and Bright didn't know the defender was coming from behind. He had it stolen away.
That's his teammates' fault.
Yeah.
They've got to yell. Let the words be yours. I'm done with mine.
Here's Heyman, the lefty, against a shot blocker, but he got his own miss and stuck it in.
Persistence, determination. It's easy when you're hot, but now you're up against it. Only down by 3.
Every time Stanford looks like maybe they're going to pull away, SFA hanging around.
Beautiful back cut.
Harris got free.
Josh Eustace, play of the night for Stanford offensively. Doing what you're supposed to and hit the guy as he's getting open. Don't wait till he's already open. By then, the defense is recovering. And that's what Brando was so good at. Bardo, excuse me.
There's a roller, and that one goes down for Hal Bateman.
Brando, Bardo, one of those guys.
Yeah, well, maybe Marlon Brando was good at it, too. I don't really know that much about his basketball game.
Well, Marlon Brando, Pocahontas, and me. Neil Young.
Powell, and as Bill was talking about bringing Smith on the perimeter, Bright got an opening. Powell missed the follow, got his own miss, still no good. Rebound Lumberjacks.
Got an injury on the court here. This guy's number 5 out here is really hurt.
Yeah, Bostic, his right shoulder, right arm.
He can't even move. There's something wrong, seriously, there.
Yeah. I think Danny Casper wanted the officials to stop play, which they're entitled to do.
They should have.
They should have done it, I think.
That's a breakdown. Danny Casper, this shouldn't cost the Lumberjacks a timeout here.
It's hard to tell exactly what happened there. Watch number 5. He took a swipe at the ball, but there wasn't a lot of heavy contact.
But there's something wrong there.
Obviously.
These guys are tough. I mean, that sense of, we're coming from Nacogdoches, we're coming to Texas, to California to cut your trees down right in your face. And they're right there, just down 3, but this key injury to Boston.
Yeah, he's been huge. I mean, it's a tough guy program. That's the identity of this team. Play tough basketball. Undersized team, but they play bigger than they're listed on the roster sheet.
They don't fly out of their town. They have to, every time they go on a road trip, they have to drive on a bus 2.5 hours to Houston and get on the big plane to go somewhere. 2.5-hour bus ride, 4-hour plane from Houston to here, and then get here in rush hour traffic. Oh my gosh.
And that counts as an easy trip for them. That was smooth sailing.
Nice double team, Aaron Bright.
And Randall comes away with the ball. On the break, avoided the steal, missed the shot though.
Great play, Gabriel Harris.
Yeah, he's made some big plays for Stanford. Draws a foul.
Boy, he's stepped up here where Jason Randall, where's he been tonight? Jason Randall's a darn good basketball player.
Yeah, very talented kid who's had an off year, Jason Randall. But and that is Randall, sophomore. Was so good as a freshman. And part of what Stanford needs to do this offseason, Bill, is figure out how to get Jason Randall back on track. He is too good to struggle the way he did for much of this year. And that is a very talented kid. Meanwhile, Harris, who's from Alabama, he and Stanford a few minutes away from playing Alabama in the second round of this NIT.
The life and the light comes from the top. And that's what the Cardinal need. Beautiful crossover.
Yeah, Bateman missed the shot, and Powell off the tip ball, out of bounds off of SFA. Well, I talked to Johnny Dawkins for a long time today, and he emphasized it. It's on him to get Jason Randall back to that level. He's going to work with him this offseason, not just physically, but building up his confidence. He thought Jason just took too much on himself this year, was too hard on himself. Johnny made a point of saying he's going to work as hard as he can this offseason to try to help him get back to that level. Harris switched to the left hand, drew the foul.
Gabriel Harris, superb in all aspects. It was his ball fake that got into the lane to set up the throwdown for Dwight Powell, and right now he's going to the free throw line, putting his Stanford Cardinal in tremendous position to close out here.
If you got cut rate insurance, it might not pay for all this. So get Allstate. That's H-O-R-S. Hey, hey.
Protect your home with an Allstate agent. Are you in good hands?
Mowing your lawn isn't always easy, but maybe the problem isn't your lawn. Introducing the all-wheel drive mower from Husqvarna. We engineered its unique drive system and dual transmission to handle hills, thick grass, and tough terrain without losing traction or power. The all-wheel drive mower from Husqvarna. Challenge the impossible. Visit us online to enter the Challenge the Impossible promotion.
Get set for spring at Rent-A-Center with a 7-piece Ashley dining room set for just $9.75. Get all 7 pieces for just $9.75. And with the Rack Flex plan, get 90 days same as cash with no credit check. Only at Rent-A-Center.
Thank you, Orville and Wilbur, Amelia, Neil and Buzz, for teaching us that you can't create the future by clinging to the past. And with that, your history. Instead of looking behind, Delta is looking beyond. 80,000 of us investing billions in everything from the best experiences below to the finest comforts above. We're not simply saluting history. We're making it.
Dad, you're not getting my bites.
Hello? Oh, hey, Brian.
Brian?
Yeah, she's here.
I'll take it in my room.
That Brian?
No, telemarketer.
KFC Bites. Freshly hand-breaded big bites of 100% breast meat. Now with our famous hot gravy. Try a 6-bite combo for just $3.99. Today tastes so good.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Wendy's, proud sponsor of the 2013 John R. Wooden Men's Player of the Year Award.
Great look at the Bay Bridge and the bustling streets of San Francisco. We're down the road from the big city here in Palo Alto.
What a city, San Francisco. Then you come right down here to the beautiful quiet verb of Palo Alto, Sand Hill Road, Page Mill Road, Portola Valley. 27 wins this season for Stephen F. Austin. The incredible record without making the tournament. Only Coastal Carolina has more wins. Drexel and Oral Roberts right there with Stephen F. Austin. But this season, with only 4 losses, there's only 2 teams that had 4 or less losses. Memphis had 4 losses. Gonzaga's got 2 losses. Yep. And then there's SFA, the Lumberjacks, Stanley Casper. Oh, my gosh.
And wins against, we mentioned it, Long Beach State. Win at Oklahoma, a tournament team. Missed free throw there at 1 of 2 for Harris. 6-point lead for Stanford. Their biggest lead, 7. Lumberjacks hanging around.
Good defense that time, chasing Randall. Cardinal finally realizing you don't have to go for these pump fakes. Tough shot, Aaron Bright everywhere.
Here comes Bright, the junior.
I love watching Aaron Bright because the ball is an extension of his mind. He's just running up the court like some of the great ones ever. Steve Nash, Santa Clara, John Stockton, Gonzaga. And they're just looking for that one little opening. Whoa.
Wow, way too strong. I think Aaron Bright has learned a little bit of that Steve Nash where, hey, if you're in the lane and there are big guys around you, just dribble on
just
through.
Keep going and take it with you.
Yeah.
The grand circle route.
Yeah, I think he's learned some of that.
I think of the Explorers, Captain Cook, Magellan, Sir Francis Drake, Steve Nash.
LaSalle, the Explorers. They're playing tomorrow.
Oh, really?
They are. They've got Boise State, a Western team, in the first round of the NCAA tournament.
I missed that one. Sorry. I'm a Pac-12 guy. Yeah, I'm an NIT guy.
Here we are tonight, both of us.
Look at the Pac-12 schools. They got their work cut out for them. Washington already went down.
How about the NCAA tournament, Bill? You watched the Pac-12 all season long. You got 5 teams in the tournament. Any thoughts on those?
Cal's going to have their hands full, but Cal's not playing well.
Yeah.
UNLV, they got a stud in Anthony Bennett. Colorado, Illinois, that's a tough one. Illinois, that's a fine team there. Pac-12 got to rise to the occasion. Arizona, Belmont. Belmont's a good team, good program there. Arizona, not an offensive force at all. UCLA whining and complaining about having to go to Austin, Texas. Austin's nice. Come on, you got a chance here. And then Oregon and OK State. That'll be a game in San Jose. 1:30 Thursday. Be there.
Bright just stole it away and missed the layup. Powell missed the tip dunk. 3-point blank looks for Stanford, and none of them went down.
Lumberjacks have to capitalize. If they don't capitalize on that, they're not going to win. Get the ball in there to Taylor Smith. Feed that post.
He has not had many touches. Timeout, and now
another injury.
Hal Bateman, the point guard, is banged up. So Bateman and Bostic, both of them hurting.
And not a deep team.
No, they're running out of bodies.
They only play 7 guys.
No, they're running out of guys. The bench scoring only 2 points off the bench for SFA.
Pinckney comes in, the little guy.
Who's not a bad player, but not the same performer that Bateman is. The quick release for Heyman hits the 3.
I love that footwork. That is absolutely perfect. You couldn't draw it up any better.
Just as we
and
thought.
The Cardinals forced to take a timeout on their home court. 2 minutes to go in a 1-point game. This is where dreams come true. Legends are made.
We figured this one was coming down to the end, and indeed it is. Stephen F. Austinville just will not go away.
Swing it to one side. Come with the double screen there. Beautiful execution with the jab step to the baseline and the exquisite footwork to deliver the shot without dribbling. Thank the heavens for Danny Casper. He's saving the game of basketball.
There he is talking to his team. And while he does that, we get a chance to remind you the 2013 Women's Basketball Championship tips off Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern on ESPN2, online ESPN3. You can catch every minute of the tournament on our ESPN family of networks. Find out all the info you need at ncaa.com.
The top of the women's bracket is fantastic. When you talk about Baylor, UConn, Notre Dame, Stanford, Cal, just absolutely fantastic. And the style of play, so entertaining.
Dwight Powell against Smith. Tough contested shot, and
Great
Smith
rebound.
forced the miss.
Parker. Solid game for so many of these guys. They got a chance to take the lead here.
Under 2 minutes to go, and SFA can go ahead with a basket.
The Sierra Club is rallying on University Avenue, heading up to the campus.
Trying to save the trees. Dwight Powell with the rebound.
Missed layups. How do you expect to win if you can't make a layup?
Stanford's missed plenty themselves.
They missed 3-on-1 possession a moment ago.
And that should not happen.
Great defense. Walk up.
And obviously a big 10 seconds here. Shot clock winding down. Bright 3. No good. Eustace tried to save the ball, and he couldn't quite do it. It's out of bounds. The Lumberjacks will get it back. 1:06 to go. Stanford clinging to the 1-point lead.
History in the making.
Well, for the little school in Nacogdoches, this would be an historic win.
These two teams have never played before.
And we've seen a good one tonight. Timeout.
This has been fantastic.
But it has been a clean game. It's been a fun game to watch. Not up and down in terms of tempo, but two teams that have executed for the most part.
But the way that SFA plays, their style, I mean, it's perfect. You know, they have a plan, and they're going up against the big boys. And this is Stanford University. Are you kidding?
Couple of timeouts left for the Cardinal. Both teams in the bonus. The arrow favors the Lumberjacks.
How many times in your Hall of Fame broadcasting career have you mentioned Stephen F. Austin before today?
This might be the first time. Maybe 0.
You're not old enough to have known James Silas.
Yeah.
You're not old enough to know Don Henley.
I know Don Henley. But you got me up to speed on Silas. I was glad to learn a little bit more about him.
He was a classic player. He was beautiful. He was electrifying, dynamic, explosive, smooth as can be. A little short guy, what could score from anywhere on the court.
Great opportunity for the Lumberjacks here. Down one with the ball. Heyman against Harris, went right down the lane. Powell knocked it away.
Gabriel Harris, the player of the game for Stanford. Without him, they would have no chance tonight. And if they win tonight, they're going back to his hometown in Alabama for their next game.
An interesting decision here for SFA. They're not fouling, even though there's only about a 5.5-second difference. Game clock, shot clock. They're playing straight up defense. Now a timeout for Stanford with 13 to shoot, 19.5 to play.
Stanford's calling timeout. They're in control.
They want to get organized.
The other team that's in desperate straits.
Last possession here. Here's what's at stake. We'll take another look at our brackets here in the NIT. The winner advances to take on Alabama on this side of the tournament. Denver and Maryland, the 2 and the 3 seeds, have already advanced. So it's going to be the Pioneers and the Terps on Thursday on ESPN.
Terrapin Station.
But Alabama from the SEC awaits the winner of this one, a game that almost assuredly will be played in Tuscaloosa. They haven't yet determined when that game would be, but Stanford wants to go on the road. They want Gabriel Harris, the senior, to get a chance to play near his hometown. It's been a rallying cry today for the Cardinal. Get Gabriel home. Get him a game in front of his friends and family.
But the bigger picture story is SFA.
Yep.
The little school. 12,999 students. I love the accuracy. And then to be able to come all the way to California against all odds, going up against this most remarkable college here, the phenomenal athletic department across the board, with the exception of the basketball team. And now they're right here on the verge of pulling off one of the greatest upsets in NIT history.
We saw one earlier tonight, that's for sure. Robert Morris took down the big boys from Kentucky.
Well, Kentucky, they're the gold standard. That is an unbelievable program.
Defending champions, all-time most wins in hoops history. Here we go, 13 to shoot for Stanford out of this timeout, leading by 1. And the tough defense of SFA, Jason Randall. Almost.
How's that not an offensive foul?
Almost got whistled for it. Shot clock down to 4. Randall slipped and fell, and the Lumberjacks have the ball. 6 seconds.
For the win.
Clock winding down. Heyman's got to get a shot off. He does. Short, and the horn goes off. Stanford, by the slimmest of margins, has survived and won against a very game SFA team.
One more pass to a wide open guy. Oh my gosh, what a game. What a finish. Tough, fierce, competitive, intense, tenacious. All the things you love about basketball. The one time all night that they forced it with too many dribbles. Stanford stayed at home defensively. What a game.
Good play by Eustace.
We're the luckiest people on earth.
And even with that, they got a pretty good look at it, didn't they?
It was straight. It was just too low. If it had been 3 inches higher, it would have rolled over the front of the rim and gone in.
Yeah, the trees were about to be chopped down.
Oh, and what a nightmare that would have been.
Stanford
John
survives.
Muir can sleep comfortably tonight.
Yeah, up there in Muir Woods. It'll be quiet and peaceful tonight after Stanford gets the win. And here are the brackets, Bill. Alabama, Stanford. In football, that'd be a heck of a matchup, the way those two programs are rolling.
And
Denver
that's
and Maryland.
the challenge here at Stanford to make this a great national program. Come on, let's go.
Trying to take some steps in that direction. The Cardinal with a nice win at home against a very tough SFA team. Bill, nice to be with you again tonight.
Dave, you're a genius. Thanks for your patience. Love how the Cardinal walked by the student section. You got to say something. The words are yours. I'm done with mine.
Coming up, College Game Day Scoreboard covered by State Farm. For Bill, I'm Dave. So long.